Born on the summit of Mount Everest in 1953 and refined through 7 decades of constant evolution, the Rolex Explorer has become the quintessential one-watch collection for those who appreciate purposeful design over flashy complications. And the steady popularity of the Rolex Explorer isn't surprising. It offers that perfect mix of understated elegance, Swiss heritage, and proven reliability that, quite frankly, is just really hard to beat. After the success of our Rolex Submariner alternative video, we figured it was due time to revisit our alternative watch coverage. And what better choice than the aforementioned Rolex Explorer? As with all of these Rolex alternative guides, we'll first start out by saying that there is no true substitute for the Rolex Explorer. If you've got your heart set on that iconic 369 dial and the crown heritage, we'd recommend saving up for the real deal. As most enthusiasts will tell you, nothing else will ever truly scratch that same itch. However, if you romanticize the idea of a Rolex Explorer but aren't quite sure you'll ever pull the trigger at that price point, there are a handful of references that capture the Explorer's essential DNA while offering solid utility with a much more approachable entry fee. Today, we'll focus on Rolex Explorer alternatives that fall between the $500 and $1,000 price point, all featuring black dials to stay true to that original Explorer aesthetic. And just for reference, our wearer maintains a wrist size of 6.75 inches. Alright, let's get into it. When we talk about modern Explorer alternatives that truly understand the assignment, the Nodus Sector 2 Sport deserves serious consideration. The Los Angeles-based micro brand has engineered something genuinely impressive here, a watch that captures the Explorer's go-anywhere-do-anything ethos while bringing some clever innovations to the table. The Sector 2's most remarkable achievement is its case engineering. At just 11.7 millimeters thick, this is one of the slimmest NH movement watches we've ever encountered, yet it still maintains a robust 100-meter water resistance. So, how'd they pull this off? Through a meticulously designed box-shaped sapphire crystal that allows the dial and hands to sit closer to the glass, creating an incredibly efficient use of space that feels decidedly high-end. Dimensionally, the 38mm case hits that sweet spot for everyday wear. The 47mm lug-to-lug keeps it reasonable for most wrists, while the clean, sector-inspired dial layout echoes those iconic mid-century exploration watches that made history on mountains and in laboratories. The glossy black enamel finish gives it a refined appearance that's far from the typical matte tool watch aesthetic, and the dial even shifts from a black to a deep blue when light catches it at certain angles. That 369 dial configuration is pure Explorer DNA, executed with Swiss Superluminova BGW9 for excellent low-light visibility. Exactly what you'd expect from a proper tool watch that respects its inspiration. The TMI NH38 movement, Seiko's no-date variant, might not be Swiss, but it's proven reliable and Nodus regulates each one to plus or minus 10 seconds per day. With a 41-hour power reserve, it's perfectly adequate for daily wear. Where Nodus really shows their innovation chops is with their proprietary Nodus clasp system. This clever mechanism offers 10mm of micro adjustment across 4 locking positions, making on-the-fly sizing adjustment effortless. The oyster-style bracelet tapers nicely from 20mm to 16mm and features quick-release spring bars for easy strap swaps. Build quality feels solid throughout, especially considering the sub-$500 price point. While it may not have the Explorer's legendary heritage, the Sector 2 Sport proves that modern micro brands can create compelling alternatives that honor the original spirit while still bringing fresh thinking to classic design principles. When it comes to capturing the Explorer's essence without breaking the bank, few watches nail it quite like the Laurier Falcon Series 3. The New York-based micro brand has quietly built a cult following among enthusiasts who appreciate vintage-inspired design executed with real passion and attention to detail, ourselves included. At first glance, the Falcon's DNA is unmistakably Explorer adjacent. We're talking about that iconic 369 dial layout, clean black face, and purposeful no-date simplicity that made the original Rolex such a legend. But Laurier's take isn't just mindless homage territory. It's more like a love letter to the entire era of mid-century exploration watches, drawing inspiration from the likes of the Explorer, Omega Railmaster, and even vintage Seiko Alpinist references. The 36mm marine-grade stainless steel case feels great on wrist, exactly matching the Explorer's traditional proportions while feeling thoroughly modern. With a 44mm lug-to-lug and at just 9mm thick, plus 2mm for the domed Hesalite crystal, it wears significantly slimmer than many contemporary sports watches, sliding under dress shirt cuffs with ease while maintaining tool watch credibility with that 100 meters of water resistance. What really sets the Falcon apart here is that textured honeycomb dial, a nod to some extremely rare vintage Explorer variants that collectors pay serious money for today. The waffle pattern catches light beautifully, though it can affect legibility in certain conditions. Laurier's custom handset strikes the perfect balance between vintage charm and modern functionality, filled with generous BGW9 Superluminova that glows brilliantly. Inside, the Miyota 90 S5 automatic movement keeps things reliable and affordable. It's the no-date variant of Miyota's respected 9015, beating at 28,800 VPH for that smooth second sweep we love. The choice of a thin movement allows for the Falcon's impressively slim profile on the wrist. The flat-link bracelet deserves a shout-out here. It's become Laurier's signature across their lineup, featuring vertical brushing that creates this mesmerizing chase light effect as it catches the light. Some might find the 20mm lug width slightly wide for that 36mm case, but it works beautifully and tapers nicely to 16mm at the clasp. Sure, you're getting Hesalite instead of sapphire, but honestly, that's part of the charm here. It gives the watch that authentic vintage warmth that modern sapphire just can't replicate, and Laurier even includes polywatch for maintenance. For just under $500, the Falcon delivers serious value in the Explorer alternative space, vintage-inspired design, quality construction, and that elusive one-watch collection versatility that made the original Explorer such an icon. While Seiko offers plenty of Explorer alternatives, from the legendary SAR B017 Green Alpinist to the cleaner SPB 155 Baby Alpinist, we've chosen the SPB 117 specifically for its black dial configuration that most closely echoes the Explorer's DNA while still bringing Seiko's unique mountaineering heritage to the table. The Alpinist lineage traces back to 1959 as Seiko's first dedicated sports watch, originally crafted for Japanese mountain men. The modern SPB 117 represents a fascinating evolution. It's unmistakably Explorer influenced with its black dial and robust toolwatch credentials, yet it's still distinctly Seiko with quirky details that give it some serious personality. At 39.5mm, the case hits that sweet spot for wearability, though at 13.2mm thick, it does wear a bit more substantially than the numbers might suggest. The 46.4mm lug-to-lug keeps it reasonable for most wrists, while the robust 200-meter water resistance makes it an actual dive-rated watch. Where things get interesting is that inner rotating compass bezel controlled by the crown at the 4 o'clock. It's a useful feature for actual outdoor adventures that does help set it apart from the standard field watches. The dial layout maintains Explorer-esque simplicity with cathedral-style hands and applied markers. But Seiko's added their signature touches like the magnified date window, love it or hate it, and that compass scaled around the periphery. LumaBright is only applied to both the handset and the small circles located at each hour marker, which can definitely make reading in low light conditions a bit more challenging, while the sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating feels right at home here. Inside, Seiko's 6R35 movement boasts an impressive 70-hour power reserve, nearly double what many other movements in this price point offer. The exhibition caseback lets you admire the movement's finishing, which is a nice touch here, especially for a dive-rated watch. The all-brushed stainless steel bracelet feels utilitarian and substantial, tapering from 20mm lugs straight to the clasp without any refinement. Some might call it chunky, but it perfectly matches the watch's tool-oriented personality, and it does feel great on wrist. Yes, the Alpinist has its quirks. The compass bezel isn't always perfectly aligned, the crown can be finicky, and that Cyclops magnifier is polarizing. But these quirks are also part of its charm. This isn't trying to be a sterile Explorer copy. It's a watch with actual mountaineering heritage that happens to scratch that same exploration itch while offering superior value and that unmistakable Seiko character. If you're looking for an Explorer alternative that takes the formula seriously while still adding some nice innovation, the Traska Summiteer is definitely worth a look. The Florida-based micro brand has quietly built a reputation for obsessive attention to detail and engineering solutions that actually matter in daily wear. The Summiteer's dial draws direct inspiration from the legendary Explorer reference 6350, featuring that iconic 369 layout with applied markers and a recessed center section that creates three-dimensional depth. What sets it apart is the execution. Those markers aren't just printed, but are three-dimensional Swiss BGW9 Superluminova applications that catch light beautifully while still providing excellent low-light visibility. At 38.5mm with a 46mm lug-to-lug, the proportions are in line with many other options on this guide. But here's where Traska gets clever. At just 8.75mm for the mid-case, 10.4mm total with crystal and caseback, this thing wears incredibly slim for a tool watch. The box-style double-domed sapphire crystal adds vintage charm, while the underside AR coating ensures crystal clear legibility. The real party trick here? Traska's proprietary hardening treatment takes standard 316L stainless steel from 200 HV to nearly 1200 HV on the Vickers scale, which is nearly 6 times more scratch resistant than typical steel. We're talking Zen-level durability at a fraction of the price. You can literally attack this thing with a spring bar tool and still walk away mark-free, although we wouldn't recommend that, of course. Inside, the Miyota 9039 delivers reliable timekeeping with a 42-hour power reserve, regulated by Traska to -10 plus 20 seconds per day. It's the no-date variant of Miyota's 9015, chosen specifically for its slim profile and smooth 28,800 VPH beat rate. The bracelet deserves special mention here. Fully articulated links that actually conform to your wrist, tapering from 20mm all the way down to 16mm with quick-release spring bars. The clasp features hand-polished pearlage finishing, something you don't see often on a sports watch, plus 6 micro-adjustment positions for perfect sizing. Founder John Mack is a known perfectionist who's refined this watch through 4 generations since 2019, constantly improving the details that matter. The result feels like what the Explorer might be if Rolex prioritized engineering innovation over heritage pricing. When you want that Explorer aesthetic backed by serious Swiss heritage, the Longines Conquest absolutely deserves consideration, especially in this Quartz variant that keeps things under our $1,000 threshold. While Longines offers automatic versions of the Conquest, which are also excellent if mechanical movements are important to you and your budget has a bit more flexibility, we've specifically chosen the Quartz model to fit our budget constraints while still delivering that premium Swiss experience. The Conquest brings legitimate horological pedigree to the Explorer alternative conversation. Longines has been crafting watches since 1832, and the Conquest collection dates back to 1954, when it became the first Longines line to have its name protected by the Swiss Federal Intellectual Property Office. This isn't some newcomer trying to capture Explorer magic. Longines is a heritage brand in its own right, with its own rich exploration history. Dimensionally, the 41mm case strikes a nice balance, though the 51mm lug-to-lug does push the boundaries for smaller wrists. What makes it wear larger than the measurements suggest is the dial-to-bezel ratio. You're looking at a lot more black dial real estate compared to watches with chunkier bezels, creating a more pronounced presence on the wrist. The black lacquer dial captures the Explorer's spirit beautifully, featuring a clean layout with painted Arabic numerals at 12 and 6, plus rectangular indices elsewhere. Swiss Superluminova provides decent visibility, though it's not the strongest lume application we've encountered. The date window at 3 o'clock does add some nice practical functionality to the mix. Build quality feels properly Swiss throughout. The sapphire crystal features anti-reflective coating, while the screw-down crown and substantial crown guards provide 300 meters of water resistance. Impressive specs for what's essentially a dress sports hybrid watch. The fully brushed bracelet feels robust, though it lacks taper, which also contributes to the watch's substantial wrist presence. The Swiss Quartz L157 movement delivers the reliability and accuracy you'd expect, far surpassing any mechanical alternative in timekeeping precision. It's a practical choice that eliminates winding concerns while still maintaining Swiss credentials. Yes, it's a fingerprint magnet with all that polished steel, and the substantial proportions won't suit everyone. But for those wanting Explorer DNA from a storied Swiss manufacturer with quartz reliability and serious water resistance, the Conquest delivers genuine value in the heritage sports watch space. We'll be completely transparent here. Our love for the Hamilton Khaki Field Murph is well documented, and as we pointed out in our individual review, we still think it might be the best go-anywhere do-anything watch for under $1,000. The Murph's origin story in Christopher Nolan's Interstellar gives it cultural cachet that few watches can match, but this 2024 bracelet version transcends its cinematic roots. What Hamilton has created is essentially an Explorer alternative for the everyman, offering similar everyday versatility at a fraction of the price while still maintaining its own distinct character. At 38mm with a compact 44.7mm lug-to-lug, the proportions are practically perfect for modern wrists. The matte black dial features those distinctive cathedral hands and khaki-colored Arabic numerals that provide instant recognition while still maintaining excellent legibility. The absence of a date window keeps things clean and symmetrical. Inside, Hamilton's H10 movement absolutely punches above its weight class. The 80-hour power reserve means you can set this thing down on Friday night and pick it up Monday morning still running. The Nivacron balance spring provides enhanced magnetic resistance, while the lower 3 Hz beat rate achieves that impressive power reserve without sacrificing reliability. The real game changer here is the steel bracelet. Where the leather-strapped version leaned into vintage field watch territory, the bracelet transforms the Murph into something more versatile. The 3-link design with brushed outer links and polished bevels strike the perfect balance between tool watch functionality and refined appearance. And quick-release spring bars make strap swaps effortless if you're still not quite sold on that steel bracelet. Build quality feels absolutely solid throughout. The milled clasp, sapphire crystal with AR coating, and a solid 100-meter water resistance all speak to Hamilton's commitment to creating a proper everyday watch, not just a movie tie-in. Yes, the lume could be stronger, and some might find the khaki numerals less than ideal in certain lighting. But these are minor complaints with a watch that seamlessly transitions from hiking trails to boardrooms while maintaining that emotional connection to one of cinema's most compelling timepieces. For just under $1,000, the Murph delivers Swiss movement quality, excellent proportions, and unmatched versatility in a package with genuine soul. When it comes to capturing the Explorer's essence with a distinctly British twist, few watches nail it quite like the Ferrer Discovery Black Velvet. This London-designed, Swiss-made timepiece proves that independent brands can create compelling alternatives that honor classic designs while bringing fresh personality to the table. Named after the Royal Research Ship Discovery that carried Scott and Shackleton to Antarctica, this watch embodies that spirit of exploration with some really thoughtful design choices. The matte black velvet dial is absolutely stunning in person, a rich deep black that provides perfect contrast for the applied polished numerals at 3, 6, 9, and 12. That clever seconds hand with its floating white Ferrer A tip creates an almost mesmerizing effect as it sweeps around the dial. At 36mm with an incredibly compact 41.2mm lug-to-lug, this is one of the most wearable watches in our guide. The proportions are perfect for smaller wrists while still maintaining presence, and that domed box sapphire crystal adds some vintage charm that recalls the Explorer's heritage. The polished case sides and brushed lugs create beautiful light play that elevates the overall aesthetic. Inside, the Swiss-made La Jolie G101 movement delivers serious performance with an impressive 68-hour power reserve. The movement features proper Geneva striping and snailing visible through the exhibition caseback, adding some nice value at this price point. What sets Ferrer apart is their attention to unique details. That ice blue superluminova creates distinctive character while still providing excellent low-light visibility. And that bronze crown insert adds a subtle touch of warmth that complements the overall design philosophy. Some might find the rotor slightly audible or wish for a screw-down crown, but these are minor considerations for a watch that successfully balances vintage inspiration with modern functionality. And while the Italian-made leather strap was incredibly comfortable and paired well with the tool watch aesthetic here, the quick-release system makes strap changes effortless. For those seeking an Explorer alternative with genuine British character, Swiss quality, and distinctive design details that set it apart from the crowd, the Discovery Black Velvet represents exceptional value in the sub-$1,000 space. When discussing Rolex Explorer alternatives, Christopher Ward's C65 Dune Aeolian stands out as something truly special. The British brand has taken the field watch formula and elevated it with thoughtful details that make it feel fresh rather than derivative. The star of the show here is that stunning three-dimensional rippled dial, inspired by the Aeolian sand patterns of France's Dune du Pilat. This textured surface creates beautiful depth and visual interest that sets it apart from the countless sunray dials flooding the market. Available in 4 different colorways, including the silica gray seen here, each features complementary superluminova colors that enhance the overall aesthetic. At 38mm with a compact 43.7mm lug-to-lug, the proportions are once again spot on for modern wrists while still maintaining that classic field watch character. The 11.9mm thickness keeps it comfortable under cuffs, while the box-style sapphire crystal adds vintage charm with that characteristic wobble when viewed from different angles. Christopher Ward's decision to eliminate the date window in this updated version was a welcomed improvement. It creates that perfect symmetry and maintains the clean, tool watch purity. The applied indices and simplified seconds hand further enhance legibility while keeping the visual clutter down to a minimum. Inside, the Swiss Sellita SW200-1 movement provides reliable 38-hour power reserve and proven accuracy. The exhibition caseback showcases Christopher Ward's custom rotor with their signature twin flag motif, a nice touch that adds value without compromising the 150-meter water resistance. While our Italian-made gray Orlando leather strap, complete with Christopher Ward engraved stainless steel dress clasp, was quite comfortable, the brand also offers a more tool-oriented Bader steel bracelet, complete with micro-adjustable ratchet clasp for just above the $1,000 price threshold. The strap also features quick-release spring bars for easy swapping. It is worth noting that Christopher Ward also offers the C63 Sealander if you're seeking more direct Rolex Explorer vibes, but the Dune Aeolian brings enough unique character to stand on its own merits. The combination of innovative dial textures, perfect proportions, and quality movement create a package that feels premium, while still remaining accessible to enthusiasts seeking something beyond the typical homage watch territory. And there you have it, a look at some of the best alternatives to the Rolex Explorer, each offering incredible versatility quality craftsmanship, and that essential go anywhere, do anything spirit, and all at a more accessible price point. These timepieces may not carry the crown's legendary status, but they certainly deliver on the Explorer's core promise, which is exceptional daily wearability with the reliability to handle whatever life throws at you. As we always say, this is just a small cross-section of our favorites of the affordable Explorer alternative space. Let us know which ones caught your eye, and if there are any Rolex Explorer alternatives we missed that deserve consideration in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more watch guides and deep dives into the timepieces we're passionate about. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.